Alright, so nagbabalik tayo sa ating violin tips and tricks. And for today's video, I wanted to do a video on something na tinanong sa akin ni Ria Jane Yulde. So if you know her, follow her, subscribe to her channel. Yeah. So she asked the question, paano daw ba yung magandang articulation when you're playing pop music, no? And I did a spin-off on this. I also made a podcast on how classical techniques can be used in pop music, no? So check it out as well, no? Yan. So ngayon, kaya dito ko siya gagawin sa Violin Tips and Tricks because I want to share with you how I play pop music, no? So, alam naman ng lahat siguro, no, that I do covers of popular songs from all over the place. Kung ano yung magustuhan ko, ginagawan ko ng covers, right? So, how do I play them? No? What do I do? So, first of all, malaki ba yung difference between classical and pop music? I think not. In a sense, pop music is more of a style choice rather than technique-based changes, no? Hindi naman siya nagkakalayo masyado when it comes to technique and, you know, all the basic stuff that you're doing when you're learning classical, as we've talked about in our previous podcast, no? So first of all, ako, how do I play pop music? Sabi niya yung question was articulation, but let's focus not just on articulation but on the style itself, no? So kasi there are a lot of articulations that you can use, diba? So basically, lahat actually you can use all articulations. For example, syempre, détaché, the most basic bow movement or stroke, and of course staccatos, spiccatos, or whatever, you can use them in your classical techniques to transform them to your pop needs, no? What changes? For me, I try to imitate. Kasi usually when you do covers of pop songs, you imitate the singer. And as the violin is sort of a lead instrument, you know, we play lead roles. Kumbaga, if we're doing instrumentals, we play the melodies na instead of singer singing the song, we play the melody of the song. So what I try to do is I emulate or imitate how the song is being sung. No? So gamit tayo, for example, kung si Moira kumakanta, no? Siyempre, you want that really luscious, airy sound na parang ano, di ba? So, how do I imitate that? I use by less bow, no? Weight. Tapos, medyo mahangin yung sound, airy sound. By tilting the bow to one side, no? For example, let's do so, ganon. What if tutugtugin ko siya in the classical sense? Yung parang, ano lang, note lang siya, tas détaché yung bowing, di ba? So, iba rin yung tunog. Yun, di ba? Ibang-iba yung sound, but the same notes applied. Almost the same volume, pero iba yung quality, no? So, for me, it's not about articulation, it's more about the style and how you can apply those things, no? So, nagbago nga ako ng stroke. It's not détaché anymore. Medyo tasto yung stroke natin, no? Using a tilted bow para mas mapalabas natin yung airy sound. So, for me, it's more of imitating the sound that you want to achieve versus just doing certain things. Kasi kahit staccato ko yun, mas mahalaga pa rin yung color. So, diba? Medyo staccato yung dating, pero ganun pa rin yung color na. Or ganun pa rin yung style. So, it's a style choice rather than a technique choice, no? Pero, syempre, what if ibang artist naman? What if you're gonna play something like, let's say, John Legend. Ayan. important. So, I play it a little bit, parang hindi mo binibigay lahat. You're not giving too much emphasis. I think what's important about playing with pop music is you know how to phrase them like singing. And I think it's not just for pop music, no. Basically, in everything that you play, knowing how to phrase more than just knowing which articulation to use is more important. So, you try to phrase as a singer. You phrase as their voices would sound, no? Kung saan sila humihinga, you stop there. Where they need to breathe, where they don't breathe, is the same thing, no? You have to understand saan nila piniphrase yun para magtunog kang singer, para maging effective ka when you're doing covers. So that you still use your own style, diba? Because we all have this sort of sound that we want to produce when we play, but still keep it in a sense na you're doing a cover. You're doing what they would want you to do. Diba? Parang ganun. For me, it's almost the same thing as interpreting classical pieces, diba? Kasi if you're interpreting classical pieces, you're always trying to think about what's the intention of the composer. And it's the same thing. Magkaiba lang yung style, but the approach should almost be not really exactly the same, but almost the same approach. No, we're not really using extended techniques. We're still using techniques that we got from the later periods. No, from classical, from romantic, from baroque even. Diba? We're still using those techniques in playing pop music. The thing is how you apply them, and I think it's more important to listen to the music that you wanna do and really pick up the styles that they have, the style nuances. Kasi even if I teach my students to play a certain piece, there's still a certain character that they need to develop in it. And sabi nga nila, imitation is the best form of flattery or whatever, di ba? So gayahin mo na lang muna. And I think a lot of things spring out from just copying first, no? Until you develop, you find the style that you're really comfortable with, no? So, try mo lang munang makinig ng makinig, try listening a lot, and then use whatever you're hearing. So, it will really depend on the quality of the voice that you hear and how you interpret it, no? Pero, siguro, if you really want articulations that are used a lot in pop music, I would say a lot of détaché strokes and of course your bow control, no? So what do I mean? Kasi hindi laging solid yung sound when we're trying to play covers or pop songs, kasi there is this element of you want to really copy a voice, no? It's not really the instrument that you want, diba? Whatever song that may be. For example, I like to play What You Won't Do for Love, diba? If I play it in a more traditional way, diba? If I play it like that, medyo nawawala yung nuances that you want from, you know, just because they're articulating the voice. So, you try to cut off. Yung bow speed yung nagbabago-bago. So, it's still a détaché stroke, but you're lifting it up. I think they call it ghosting, yung part na yun. You're not playing the whole thing. Tinatanggal mo. Correct me if I'm wrong though, down in the comments section. But I think it's more important that you understand their way of talking or the way they speak para mas ma-capture mo yung gusto mo sound, no? So, listen carefully to lyrics, no? Kasi your lyrics are based off your articulation, no? And that will happen only if you understand how to create this nuances, no? And I think for this application, experience is really the best teacher, no? Kasi what's going on in my mind if I'm playing covers or pop songs is I'm singing with the lyrics, no? Kung ano yung sinasabi, you try to transfer that into your instrument by using your bow, of course. No? So I think kailangan lang maganda yung detache stroke mo, and knowing when to lift or take off that weight so that you can create this gaps in the music. And yun, siguro solid na ano. Demonetize tayo dito, pero it's fine, no? I just wanted to share with you my thoughts on this topic. Maganda siya pag-usapan din, no? And if you have more tips about playing pop songs, just comment down below. And if you have more questions, of course, comment down below lang din. And I'll end this episode of Violin Tips and Tricks. Again, I'm Ryan Monakil. If you want to see more of me playing pop songs, no, check out my sessions live stream. I'll link it down below. And check out my covers, of course. Check out my podcast as well, Usapang Musiko. And if you want more music, originals, I have it on Spotify. Everything you need down in the description box below. This has been Violin Tips and Tricks, and I'll see you on the next video.